Miguel, welcome to Rebel Ants Radio. This is our podcast, which you probably know by now that we do every week, coming to you live. And we're the co-founders of the Rebel Ants NFT project, and this is our Build in Public video podcast that we do each week. And we try to educate and share our journey, all the successes and failures as we try and make our way from 0 to 10,000 minted, and then like 1 million more sold through the secondary market. So we're slowly getting there. How are you tonight, Miguel?
I'm good, man. I had a good weekend, and now I'm just looking forward to this conversation with Plum and seeing how she can give us and everyone watching and listening some more tips and tricks to stay secure and safe in the space, So it's exciting stuff. So looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you?
A special guest. I'm good. I am looking forward to talking with Plum also, especially since like our pre-call conversation. I thought that was a good call, so I'm excited to get her on here. We have 5 people watching, our 5 fellow rebels. So thank you for joining us tonight. Feel free to drop a comment below. Let us know where you're joining us from. Would love to see where everyone's coming from. And thanks for coming here. Why don't you like this video if you're watching on YouTube, and make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. That is important for us. And if you have a chance, you should also head over to rebelants.io, where you can mint your very own Rebel Ant for 0.01 ETH. And then while you're there, swing on over to the shop, rebelants.io/shop, pick up yourself some sweet gear, upgrade to the shop coming soon. And just a reminder that at some point during the show, we're going to drop the secret code for the proof of attendance, so that those who are listening or watching have a chance to get a free Rebel Ant airdrop to you. So we'll put up the code, show you the website, and if you are one of the first 3 to do that in the first 24 hours of the show airing, you will get a free Rebel Ant airdrop to you. All right, Miguel, what did I miss?
Nothing. Do you have all that written down somewhere? Because I would have forgotten most of it.
I don't have it written down. I just fumble through it every time with all my verbal crutches of my ums, ands, and so's.
That's okay. It happens.
All right. Well, there's another I'm working on my verbal crutches. So let's get Plum in here. If you've got nothing else to share with our 5 rebels that are watching, and we can begin with our icebreaker question. So let's get Plum up here. Plum, welcome to the stream, Plum. How are you?
I am good.
Oh, I know, it's so painful. When you're listening for the
time,
ums,
I don't think about it.
It's so bad. I know, it's so hard to turn off. But we
One
appreciate you being here.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh. Oh.
Yeah, I do it a lot.
I say a lot. Oh gosh. Yeah.
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Not happy that it's Sunday evening already, but
I know.
It be what it be.
Yes, where has the weekend gone? It has gotten away from us. But Miguel and I were just talking how excited we are for next weekend, because we are both fans of Formula One racing, and it returns live next weekend. So we are excited about that.
Racing nerds.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, that is us. So before we dive too deep into Web3 and all the fun stuff there, let's start with our icebreaker, which is, what was your first pet's name? There should be an apostrophe in pets. I apologize. And I invite our 5 viewers to comment as well. What was your first pet's name? So Miguel, let's start with you. What was your first pet's name?
Oh man, I had a hamster named Hunter.
No, you did not. Hunter?
I did. Yeah.
Is that ironic?
That was my first pet.
Yeah. All right. Cool. True story. All right, Plum. How about you? First pet's name?
Well, since this is one of those typical "what street did you grow up on" kinds of questions, I'm gonna lie.
Okay.
One of my pets' names when I was growing up, but not the first one.
Okay.
Let's see. We had a parrot named Keeker.
Keeker.
And
Keeker.
He's a ringneck parrot, and he used to say Keeker, Reeker, Reeker, Reeker. And he was a nasty little booger, and he loved my mother and absolutely abhorred the rest of us.
Wow.
And would fly around and bite us on the head if we came in the living room.
Oh my God. I don't know how I'd feel about a bird just roaming around my house like that.
Very,
All right, so I will share that I didn't really have any pets growing up. You know, we did some goldfish here and there, but really my first pet a number of years ago was a hedgehog named
Oh.
Xena. And she
Really?
Yeah.
Like
She
Xena
was
the
my
warrior princess?
Just
Xena?
like that. Yeah, it was a female hedgehog. And she didn't live as long as she probably should have. Maybe it was my fault as a first-time pet owner, but she was real spiky. She's real spiky. So Plum, I'm realizing as I'm asking this question, like, is this a security issue for you? Because that's like a password prompt. Like, what is your first pet's name?
Yeah, that's one of those things that they
Oh
always
my
put on
God.
the security question
right.
stuff. You know, whenever you like putting in your bank
Yeah.
info and all that. What was the street
That's
you grew
true.
up on? What was your
It's
first
so
pet's
funny.
name? What was your
Yeah.
teacher in kindergarten or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's one of
I
those things.
apologize for putting
It's
you on
all
the
right.
spot like that. All right, let's just ask everyone what's their social, and we'll play that game instead.
Yeah, there
Just
you go.
everyone share your social. I'm kidding. Nobody do that.
Dude,
All right.
people give out their seed phrases for stuff sometimes.
That is true.
Just
That is scary.
yeah.
Yeah, they seem to do it too easily, actually.
Yes, they do.
That is all right. So, Plum, we were first introduced to you through another podcast. Miguel and I listened to this other podcast called the NFT Catcher Podcast, I think is what it's called.
Mhm.
I heard you right as Miguel and I were starting to like kick this thing off, and I tell him, I was like, oh boy, you need to listen to this, because it was the exact same time he was setting up the Discord. I'm like, I don't know what
Yeah.
we're doing wrong here. So how did you connect with the NFT Catcher Podcast?
They were introduced to me through somebody else, and I genuinely don't remember who it was, but I think that it was the boring security people,
Okay.
the boring security DAO guys. I think that's who sent them my way,
Oh, how interesting.
and they had done an interview, I believe, like the week before or so, and she asked them, "Hey, who's somebody else that we can get on here for security stuff?" And I said,
Very
"Hey,
cool.
go talk to Plum. You'll like her."
So I guess even more important, like, how did you become the person? How did you become the name that people drop when it comes to this?
Stubbornness and annoyance, which is two key factors in my everyday life, I suppose.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I was a mod on Reddit for a while, in a very large subreddit, and there was an exodus from Reddit to Discord at one point.
Wow. For
And
that subreddit?
yes,
Interesting.
it was a backup. I'm not going to go into details.
Sure.
Got a little trauma from all of that, but there was probably, I don't know, 20 or 30,000 people in the Discord at the peak.
Wow. That left
And-
Reddit just to go to that Discord?
Well, it was also a backup because Reddit had some issues at that point. So
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time, but a lot of people are more comfortable on Discord because you can talk, back and forth instead of
Right.
posting
Posting.
stuff. Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
I got tired of that at some point because it was full of Reddit people. And Reddit people are just their own thing every now and then. And
Sure.
I started getting into crypto, and a friend of mine twisted my arm over the space of several months and got me into NFTs. And the first NFT server that I jumped into was an absolute disaster. And it was
Sounds about right.
on minting day, and I had no idea
Oh,
what
boy.
I'd jumped in, and it was just chaos. And I started helping out, and over the next several months, turned into mod very quickly, and then admin, and then I ended up owning the server
Nice.
and started
Wow. working
working for the project lead as a Discord person for hire, kind of. He had a marketing company thing, and after a while, I went off on my own and started helping other servers because I realized how bad everybody was.
Yeah.
And right about, actually, the first anniversary was just this past week.
Oh, nice.
I got tired of jumping into half a jillion report scam channels and half a jillion servers to say the exact same message over and over again and have to convince people that I wasn't also a scammer,
Yeah.
or posting stuff on Twitter and not enough people seeing it because I just had 300 followers or whatever.
Right.
And I got pissed off and I made a server and I said, I'm ready for this to be a central location because there isn't one.
Yeah.
There's no security place. There's no, we got all these people bouncing around in servers and all these people on Twitter and, everything else. And I got annoyed that it didn't exist. So I made it.
There you go. That's good.
And we had the first anniversary of ServerForge this past week.
Well,
And
congrats on that.
We've got like
congrats, for sure.
600 people in there, pretty much most of the security people in the space. We've got representatives from pretty much every major project and a large number of minor ones. We have mods, we have admins, we have training programs, we have quizzes, we have job placement stuff, we have everything you could think of that helps the security space move forward. And
Yeah.
Our combined efforts have stopped hundreds of server hacks. We've been directly influential in like the big Me6 fiasco last spring.
Yeah.
We've stopped scammers. We've brought down countless websites, and it's a very large community effort that has made a very quiet but unmistakable difference in the entire community of Web3.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Wow.
I guess we all owe you a lot for that and your team there. I remember on the podcast we listened to, you talked about even vetting people just to get into your server, right?
Yep.
So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we've got a vanity invite that I will not share.
Sure.
And it got posted at one point in a channel that it shouldn't have been by someone who was a little more excited about the thing than they should have been. And it was passed around to some of the scammers, and they got in. And we had already had it gate kept a good bit because we didn't want people getting in who shouldn't be in there.
Right.
Because there's some pretty sensitive stuff that's talked about in the back channels, bot development and security procedures and all kinds of stuff. And we had it locked down pretty tight. But after that, we got it locked down really tight. You cannot get in without an invite. You have to put in the Discord ID of the person who invited you. You have to provide your social info. And we've got a custom bot solution that essentially has a thumbs up or thumbs down kind of thing.
Okay.
And if you appear in the gateway and you look sus, there's a button that throws you in jail.
Wow. That's it. Goodbye.
And all you can see
cool,
is the back rooms.
That's good. I wonder what was the whole ordeal with the Me6 thing. Like, I remember listening to the podcast, and when we first started our Discord, I think that was the first bot we started using, and then after I heard your podcast, I remember texting Kevin like, "Hey, we got to get rid of Me6. Like,
Good.
Yep. Yep.
Yay.
It looks so easy.
there's
It
something
does.
going on here. Like, I don't want Me6 anymore on my, on my
Uh-huh.
Discord."
Yep. People just they throw it in because it's easy and it's got all those features and it's all fancy and
Yeah.
other the fact that they have completely rugged on their Web3 stuff in the
Oh.
last several weeks here. They took a nice little trip to the Bahamas with the mint funds.
Wow.
Yeah. They had spring last year. They had it set up so that the team members could log into the Me6 backend dashboard, whatever, with just their Discord accounts. They didn't have any further gatekeeping to make that not a thing. I guess they
Okay.
just didn't ever think anything of it. And they were socially engineered, one of them.
Oh boy.
And the person lost access to their Discord token. And
Wow.
one of the scammers got into their account and thus gained access to the entire Me6 backend. They
Jesus.
had access to any server that the bot had access to and proceeded to make off with, gosh, I think in the end it was like 500,000 or 600,000.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It was insane. It was like 25 servers, I think, ended up getting hacked.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
And,
but
and it's funny
basically,
because I've seen
Go ahead.
I've seen some of like the big communities out there using Me6.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I think I had joined the I think it was the Kevin Hart thing, and he was using Me6, and I think that's what prompted me to use Me6 when I was first
Yep.
getting into Discord. But it's funny to see that how many people are using Me6 that are like,
They have no
people
idea.
that know the space, but yet have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it had all that happen, and it was just due to their poor security practices. But there was some further incidents later on in the summer that were not publicized, and I am not at liberty to discuss at great length, but
Got it.
I would equate Me6's security practices on the back end as something akin to Swiss cheese.
Oof.
It has got so many holes in it, I would not touch it with a 10-foot pole if you paid me.
Jeez.
Wow.
Can you give us like the scared straight version of what it might mean for me to be in a Discord server that is using Me6? Like, how am I the end user at risk here?
Well, provided that you know enough to not click on, random mint links and if you keep your FOMO under control, you should be okay.
Well, I'm
But
terrible at that.
well, then
We both are.
yeah, don't click on stuff that just randomly appears in the announcements channel. And if you are not to be trusted with that sort of thing, please keep a hot wallet just for minting.
Yeah.
Because if you know you're not to be trusted, just sequester all your good stuff somewhere else. Keep it away, far away, and just keep a hot wallet for your insane clicking spasms.
That is a good.
But yeah, if you're in a server and they've got it, and it's way high up on the list on the right hand side, it's probably something that they need to change. If Me6
Wow.
has admin in a server, it is absolutely not secure.
That is good to know. Noob and Gear is correcting my spelling error before. Yeah, but that's the one,
Yes.
Noob. That's the one, Me6. And Universal here is saying, how safe are Midjourney and Chat GPT
Well,
on
I
Discord?
honestly have no idea. It depends entirely on what permissions they're asking for.
Yeah.
Anything with admin is a concern. So if it's one of those and it's got admin, it probably doesn't need it. Something like that, I would assume, only needs to have basic perms like send and read messages, embeds, probably needs manage messages or something too. I'd have to check it out, but
Yeah.
it's entirely dependent on what perms it's asking for versus what you give it.
Right.
Just because something asks for admin does not necessarily mean that it needs it. And you should always check the functions of a bot that you're putting in. And if it's like a freaking music bot or something and it's asking you for admin, just reevaluate your priorities, please.
Good advice. The
Good to know,
Midjourney
yeah.
thing is interesting because that's the AI image generator, and I joined that. You can only, I think, on like the free plan, as like a new account, you have to use their Discord, and you generate all of the images right in Discord there. So I wonder if Universal, if that's what you're talking about. And Universal also says FOMO rules the world. I would agree with that. I would agree.
The scammer kids have made ungodly amounts of money on FOMO, let me tell you. They're big fans of FOMO.
Yeah. And so you said that you spend most of your day on Discord.
Yep.
Are you just like moderating and like whack-a-mole, or or are you
Yes and
engaging in other
yes.
communities? Okay.
Yes, and yes. I work full time as head of security for a large Web3 project. I have an alt account just for that.
I won't ask for the name.
Sorry?
I won't
Oh,
ask
yeah,
for
no.
the name.
Good, because I won't tell you. I run ServerForge. I'm on Twitter a good deal, keeping an eye on scams that pop up and sharing safety information. I have a constant flow of DMs from people asking for help or wanting me to take a look at something, or what bot does this, or whatever.
How inclined are you to respond for that out of just goodwill?
Way more than I should be.
Yeah, well, you responded to us, so thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for helping people. I mean, I absolutely do it way more than I should.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I think I remember now what it was, the question that I asked you on Twitter. I think it was like what bots were good to use on Discord, and you gave me like 3 of them. So I think I used one of them in our Discord.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we've got a question here from Universal. It says, what does a day in the life look like for you in this line of work? So I think that's a great question.
Let's see. I usually start on Twitter and in my DMs on Discord, and I go through and check what weird stuff has happened overnight that I might need to pass on or act on. I will answer as many DMs as I can. I go through past messages in ServerForge. I will scroll through the Slack channel for the job project. Don't get too many emails. I'll go through various messages in various servers. Got a security server. I've got various servers that I work for, like do side stuff for, to help out. Lather, rinse, repeat.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
pretty much
never-ending
constant.
job.
It is. Yep. Answer
Yeah.
questions. Fix somebody's MetaMask. get a DM about a scam that's happened, and can I help somebody track down their money? And hey, I need a job doing this. And, hey, can I find some mods for my project? And just anything and everything you could possibly think of, pretty much relating to Discord, is
Yeah.
all day.
I'm curious to know how did you learn all this security stuff? Like how did you get to the point where you are now that you know what to do exactly, or at least have an idea on what to do? Because obviously hackers are evolving all day, every day. So how do you cope with that?
ADHD. Lots of caffeine. Because I started with MIRC in like the mid 90s or so. It's very similar to Discord. So it's
Right.
operation wise, it's something that I can navigate easily. The security stuff isn't like, I don't have a proper background in cybersecurity like a lot of people do. So I'm not really pigeonholed into one particular area. I don't have the whole engineer brain thing going on.
Yeah.
My professional background is actually in customer service and medicine. So it might not seem like there's a lot of overlap there, but in practicality there is, because it's a whole lot of thinking on your feet kind of stuff.
Right.
Knowing how to deal with tense situations with possibly very little knowledge as to what's going on as you're getting into it. People from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all nationalities, and lots of plate juggling. And it's the security stuff has just kind of evolved along the way. And like I said, I don't code. I don't have the background like a lot of my high tech nerd hacker friends do. That I get in
Yeah.
touch with them if I need something like that done.
Yeah.
But my journeys throughout the internet over several decades have given me some rather developed people skills, and as a lot of what we see as security issues in Web3, it's not it's not the typical sort of hacking, brute force type stuff that you'd
Right.
see in Web 2 or whatever. It's a lot of social engineering. It's a
Yeah.
very large amount of social engineering, and that is what I have adapted for. And it's a lot of that combined with the networking and bringing together people with the different disciplines and skill levels to fill in all those little niche areas that we do have real security issues for.
Yeah.
Malware people and hard security people and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, I just feel like Web3 is such a new platform. It's so new that I think it's going to continue to evolve with like hackers and people trying to do damage to the platform, I guess, So it's going to
well,
keep
I mean,
evolving.
we've got how many times have we seen Zach or whoever talk about the North Korean stuff going into the Axie Infinity Bridge and those kinds
Yeah.
of things. So I mean, it's definitely out there, but
Yeah.
there's just so much, and we're all kind of writing this book as we go along, that it's not something that any one discipline sort can really manage it. You've got to have a whole bunch of different people who can move diagonally when necessary.
Yeah. Are there instances where you identify a bad actor and then they're kind of squashed, or do they just reappear under a different name and same tactic? Like, how
I wish I
effective is
could
it to
lie and say the
put
first,
out a
but
light? Yeah.
unfortunately, no. They always come back.
Yeah. So
They
crazy.
They
evolve.
they
It's
do.
crazy.
They make new accounts. They come back. They use new methods. On
Yeah.
Discord, some of them eventually give up. Some of them have been caught. Some of them have been prosecuted, but the vast majority of them aren't, and they know it. They
Right.
know that they're relatively safe, and it's incredibly frustrating knowing that a lot of our efforts are ultimately in vain as far as that goes. But the scams and stuff that have been perpetrated over the last year and a half have drastically changed. Like if you compare the amount of people who were getting hacked a year ago and losing their assets a year ago versus what's happening now, we have definitely made a difference
Yeah.
because a
Oh
year
yeah.
ago you were seeing Discord servers get hacked a dozen a day easily, big ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now that is not the case. And it, you know, if it's in part due to our efforts, if it's in part due to them running out of new material, I'm not going to split hairs on it, but
Right.
I'm hoping, without mountains of circumstantial evidence, that it's largely in part to what we've been doing.
Yeah. I would definitely
Yeah.
agree with that. I mean, you guys are fighting the good fight, you and your teams. And, again, even us just hearing you on another podcast that is much larger than us, but that has such a wide reaching influence. And, we're here trying to pass that message along to our viewers and our audience as well in our community. So really thank you for that. I fear that somebody who gets rugged or hacked, not only is their life really potentially impacted like that, but you also just lose them from, if it's an
Yeah.
NFT situation, you lose them from the NFT community. It tarnishes the name, and
Mhm.
it doesn't help grow this space.
Yeah. Everybody that gets hurt like that is one less person that we've got to continue on or to spread it to their friends, because instead of
Exactly.
saying, hey, this was cool, this is a neat thing that I
Right.
found out,
Right. Right.
they're
Right.
going,
Yeah.
man, I just lost $20,000 today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The problem in the space is that there's a lot of anonymity. So I think
Yeah.
that part of the reason why Kevin and I are doing this is to showcase like the real person behind the project, right? So whether it's an artist or someone doing anything in the NFT space, right? We want to make sure that we put a face to it and kind of give a background so that people know, like, hey,
Yeah.
there's credibility to this project, or hey, this is the person behind it and this is why, what's the history behind it. And that's why we're really doing this. I mean, Kevin and I, we've been in the space since 2010 almost. So we've
Oh,
been
wow.
rugged a
Yeah.
few times. So we kind of looked at each other and said, well, what can we do differently? And I think that this is it,
I think it's
at least for
awesome.
now.
I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, I sit here with my PFP on, but
Yeah, but you have reasons why.
Yeah, we're going to dive into that actually in just a second. But before we do, I want to take a quick break to share our secret code of this episode, which is Plum. So head over to rebelants.io/proof, drop the code Plum. And if you're one of the first 3 to do that in the first 24 hours of the show airing, you will get a free Rebel Ant airdrop to you. So that is the code for the episode, Plum. And that's the last time we're going to show it. Good luck to everyone. So yeah, Plum, we did our pre-call with you on video, and then you asked to do the show not on video. So kind of walk us through your thought behind that and how screwed are Miguel and I for like so blatantly.
You're probably fine because you haven't spent the last year and a half pissing off scammers. Um, I, on the other hand, again, am, the older mom of several children and founder of the massive security server that has culminated in a significant amount of their schemes being stopped
Yeah.
over the last year. So I I thought about it for a bit and I thought, I really don't want to give those guys any further ammunition than is absolutely necessary
Yeah, it makes
because
sense.
I just, if it was just me, it'd be one thing, but it's not. And I do have to think about my kids and call me paranoid, but some of the things that I've seen and have learned about in Web3 over the last year and a half, just there's some crazy people out there. And there's a
Yeah.
lot
Oh
of
yeah.
absolutely nutty stuff that people will do for ungodly amounts of money, whether they are acquiring it semi legally or not.
Right.
And I, you know, like I said, I've pissed off a lot of scammers. A
It means you're
lot of
doing a
them.
good job.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just, you know, mm-mm. I don't want my face out there attached to this if I can help it.
Yeah.
How
Well, we
how
can
come?
respect that. Go ahead, Miguel.
Yeah. How come Discord doesn't do something more in tune with like the security part of it for their people? Like, why do you think that is?
How do you mean?
Like Discord, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in Discord, and it's very difficult for people to like navigate Discord in the first place. So I'm
Oh.
like, I don't understand why they don't put together or make it a little easier for people to understand like the security part of Discord.
Because they don't care. they they flat out do not care. Uh, Web3 people, especially, are pretty much the only real section of users that has that sort of issue. Normal Discord servers don't get hacked like that. If somebody's doing
Mm,
it, they're pretty much doing it just to troll them.
Yeah,
But
that's a good point.
Web3 has got, in any given server, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of assets spread among its users,
yeah,
millions in some places.
Right.
I mean, you think about the combined assets of one of the proof servers or Bored Apes or Azuki or whatever, and you've got a lot of money
Yeah.
piled up in one server. It is absolutely going to be a target for any group of
that,
scammers that
yeah,
can possibly worm their way in there. But normal Discord is just, it's gaming. It's, you've got anime
yeah,
servers, game servers, and Roblox servers and whatever. And they don't get targeted like this. It's perfectly fine in those servers to use Me6 or whatever.
Right.
We are a
makes
Yeah.
sense.
different subset of the population entirely. And it's a small, very small chunk of Discord overall. And
Yeah. I
they
wonder what
just
that
don't
percentage
care.
is. You're right. It probably is a very small percentage. I was surprised when I learned that the local Boy Scouts troop in my
Yeah.
neighborhood, they use Discord to communicate. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I
Yeah.
guess like
There's church
that
groups.
works.
I mean, my
Yeah.
kid's school has like a server for stuff.
Right.
There's all
That's
kinds of
pretty cool.
things.
Yeah.
And they just don't get targeted like we do. They don't have people stealing Discord tokens for funsies so they can, take over $1 million worth of assets from somebody's account.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not anywhere close to a priority for them. The other big issue is that uh, Discord token stealing. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but it's the process of how a Discord account is stolen.
Go on. Tell
And
us more.
it essentially
Interesting.
functions the same way that a seed phrase does. There's, if you get a hold of somebody's seed phrase You can input it into your MetaMask or whatever and have access to all of their stuff. A Discord token is the same thing, basically, is that when you log into Discord and you go through your 2FA and whatever it is that you're doing, if it's just a password, if you've got your code, however, your Discord gives you a little token thing in the app or on your browser that says, this user has successfully logged in. And it keeps you logged in until you change something. So unless you log out specifically, if you change your password, something like that. That's why you don't have to enter your password and log in every single time you open Discord up. So when your token is stolen, it is a logged in token that is yoinked. It's the same thing as having a seed phrase yoinked.
Crazy.
And the scammers can put that token into an account on their end and access anything on your Discord account.
Ugh.
If you've got your full name and your credit card info and your mailing address and your phone number and your email and all that stuff on your account in Discord, they can see that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because I was just complaining to my brother how difficult it is to log in on Slack on new devices because it doesn't remember every single server you're in. And I have different logins for whatever reason. I was thinking, how frustrating is that? But then hearing you say this, yeah, but hearing you say this with Discord, and I'm like, oh, it's great. Any device I log in, here I am on everything. And I guess maybe that's the problem, right? Like
it is
like
a
maybe
huge problem.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even they've implemented a new thing that says, you logged in from a different location, and it's not nearly as foolproof as they think it is. The big difference is between a seed phrase and a Discord token is that if you know you have gotten your token logged, like if you log in on a website somewhere because you click on a funky link in a server and it takes you out to some website to log into, that's probably fake. Don't do it.
Interesting.
If you at all ever think that you have had your Discord token stolen, change your password. There's nothing else that will stop it. It can happen with 2FA. If you have 2FA on your account, it will not stop it from happening. Will not. And every single, probably like 99.9% of hacks on Discords that you've ever seen are through that method.
Wow.
That they have convinced somebody to click on a link, swiped their token, stuck it on another account, and have had full access to that person's account.
Unreal.
It's confusing to me sometimes because there's so many servers that you need to verify that you're a holder, and so you have to register through some sort of third party like a collab land or whatever those are. So I mean, is that just like the worst idea, or are there tiers of like, all right, yeah, collab land is legit and other ones like, I don't know, like I feel like worried sometimes.
A lot of I'm on very good terms with the collab land people. I'm a collab land maxi. I've been talking to their team in depth for about the last month or so. And a lot of the bad juju that they've got is from a year or so ago when there was a whole bunch of fake bots being used for token stealing. There has never been any sort of actual issue with Collabland.
Okay.
It's all down to fake bots. They used to have a very different way of verifying stuff, and you could only use one of your wallets, and you had to do it over and over again, and that kind of thing. And they've updated it. Gosh, maybe a year ago now. Honestly, I think it was December 21.
Yeah.
They changed it so that you only sign once, and it's a read-only signature. per wallet. And that wallet is then linked with your Discord. And that's
right.
it.
Across servers.
Across all servers.
Right. Yeah, I remember recently I tried to connect
And you
one.
can
It's like,
link
oh yeah,
in
you're already
multiple wallets
verified.
with it.
I was like, all right, this is good.
Yeah. And the big issue that people have is that they're signing that thing.
Right.
But what a lot of people are missing whenever they say, oh, I want to use Vulcan, or I want to use Delegate Cash, or Warm XYZ, or whatever, is that the Collabland people have been around for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
They've been here. It's the same team. It's the same ones that, they've been working on this for 3 years. And I'm not going to judge anybody for using any other particular bots one way or another, but I would much rather put my faith in some people who have been working on the same bot and doing the same thing and improving it for 3 years than something that, popped up 6 months ago.
Yeah. So yeah, I recently did Vulcan, and I think the way Vulcan works is you have to add a code to your OpenSea profile. Is that right? And then like you have to do it in a short period. And even doing that on mobile is kind of stressful because it's not that easy to bounce around within a short window.
It makes me crazy.
Yeah. But you bring up this good point about like somebody new in the last 6 months trying to do it. And it reminds me of an article that Miguel just sent to me about Spotify getting into token gated material, right? So now Spotify needs to have some way to verify your wallet. And I'm like, what does Spotify know about this, right? They're not in this realm. They're in content, but now they're going to have some token gated content. Is everyone going to have to register their wallet with Spotify? Like, is that how this is going to go? So it just kind of makes me think, just about big brands that are new in the space, and interested to hear what your thoughts are. Like not everyone, a lot of companies want to get into NFTs or Web3. Like, where are they going wrong?
Well, a lot of the new ones like that end up using a network or chain or whatever that there's not a lot of stuff on yet, and they Optimism or something. There's what was that one? There's a whole bunch of smaller chains that a lot of these guys, these corporate accounts jump onto because it's cheap. It's super cheap. Right. And it ends up that there's not a lot of like security type support for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Again, though, on that note, actually, is that a lot of those weird little chains are something that Collabland supports. They've got like 21 different protocols, I think, that they support. Just all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're signing your wallet up to anything, at some point, you're going to have to sign something somewhere to connect.
Yeah.
You can't just, touch your temples and think really hard at the screen. You're going to have to connect your stuff at some point.
Yeah.
There's no psychic magic waving wand here. It's blockchain. You got to connect this slot A to tab B.
How do you feel about the QR codes?
No, don't scan QR codes. Don't do it. Nope.
Don't do it. Nope. Not even for like a menu?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends entirely on what all you keep on your phone.
Yeah.
If you've got 5 Bored Apes on a hot wallet on MetaMask on your phone, you're an idiot for that. But a QR code, you don't have any idea what it's doing until it's doing it.
Yeah.
And you could be whisked away to, magical nasty land, and it'll be too late to stop it.
Okay, so you just reminded me of a recent story that was in the NFT space. I think it was NFT God maybe got hacked because he downloaded some
Very
software.
familiar with that one.
Yeah, if I remember the story correctly, he downloaded software that had nothing to
Mhm.
do really with NFTs or Web3. It
Yeah.
was just like the first promoted link on a Google search for some streaming software that installed some malware and eventually got him. So how do
Yes.
I
I was one
not
of the
go
people
down the
that
same
helped him with
rabbit
that.
hole? Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, the community rally behind it was really interesting. It
Yes, it
was cool.
was.
There was like fundraising events, and
I
he
had
seemed
no
to
idea
be.
who he was. I had no idea.
You were just ready
I
to help out. That's a customer
yes, I
service.
just saw somebody post something on
Yeah.
Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, hey, there's this guy, and everybody's real concerned about him." Okay, do do do
Yeah.
do do, and then I realized he was this freaking, insane high level influencer dude, and I was
Yeah,
like,
he
"Oh
was up
God, what
there.
have I done? What have I gotten myself into?"
So,
He
like, I don't know, how can we be smarter about those
get
sort of
an ad
things?
blocker. He didn't
Okay,
have a freaking ad blocker on his freaking
interesting.
How do you not have
browser.
that?
Yeah, just for your
That's
own
crazy.
sanity, right?
Because he wanted to support the ad revenue.
Ah, that makes sense.
Uh-huh. Does
Oh
it
god.
really?
It does not
Does
make
it?
sense.
No, it does not make sense. It is
No.
absolutely ridiculous. No.
We've got a comment here
Some
from Always Blessed. Interesting
please
about the
stop
QR
using
codes.
QR
I'll stop
codes.
using.
Yes.
Yeah, good to know. Good to know.
Don't
Yeah,
trust them
so
any more than you can throw them.
you've got NFT God, you got Kevin Rose
Yeah.
recently. I mean, these are some of the bigger players, and they're not doing it well, right? They're
Well,
not as safe as
the other
possible.
thing with the NFT God too is that he had a ledger and he had it set up correctly for like a year. And he got a new laptop. And what he did when he set up MetaMask on the new laptop was instead of um, connecting his ledger to MetaMask, there's a button on there that says connect a hardware wallet, right?
Mm.
You open up MetaMask, there's a thing that says connect a hardware wallet. It's pretty simple. What he did, the giant blithering idiot, put his seed phrase into MetaMask.
Oh, he
MetaMask can
retyped
Oh.
it.
take 24-word seed phrases. So he put his 24-word seed phrase into a new install of MetaMask,
Oh,
and he
wow.
effectively hot walleted his ledger.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then he got malware. He was getting some streaming thing, yeah, like you said. And he didn't have an ad blocker. And an ad blocker will stop those sponsored ads on Google. The sponsored ads on Google overwhelmingly have malware in them. So he got
Interesting.
malware on a machine without a ledger, and bye-bye.
Crazy. It's so scary. It's scary when you hear about the big players that fall victim to that.
Kevin was much
Yeah.
easier. His was he went to a fake pre-mint site and had all of his stuff, his vault,
Oh,
on a ledger, and he connected that on a fake pre-mint site and signed it all away. If you were
jeez.
signing a Seaport, if something pops up from your MetaMask and it says Seaport on it, and you're not on the OpenSea website directly, don't sign it.
Interesting. I thought was it that Blur recently was able to use the Seaport window now? Did I
Oh
misunderstand that
God,
story?
really?
I thought
I
they were
haven't
trying to
seen
support
that.
it. I know they've been kind of going back and forth as to these market wars, but I thought they were trying to
Well,
get
okay,
around some
so
of those
if you're
blocks.
not directly on freaking Blur or OpenSea, if you're just
Yeah.
on some rando website and you see
Right. Fair enough.
Seaport pop up, your stuff's about to go bye-bye.
Yeah.
Get Wallet Guard, get Pocket
Wallet Guard.
Universe.
Wallet guard. Okay.
Wallet Guard and Pocket Universe. I've got them posted on my page like a bajillion times. But
I'm gonna take
Wallet
note of
Guard
that.
will stop you from going to dodgy websites. And Pocket Universe is a simulation. So it will read the transaction details that have popped up and it'll show you what's about to happen. So it'll say, you're about to send all of your Bored Apes to this completely unknown address that's unsigned. And is this really what you want to do?
Interesting. All right. Well, that's good advice. Thank you. I'm gonna get
See,
on
Kevin,
that.
this is why I
Yep.
told you, Kevin, to make sure you move all your stuff out.
Ugh,
Yep.
that ledger is just. I'm looking at my ledger uninstalled right now.
Bro. Bro, don't tell me
Unreal.
that, man. I got 4 of them. Okay, you have
I've
no
been telling him
excuses.
for
I have more
months.
kids than you.
Yeah.
and less time, you have no excuse.
I know. It's just I need Miguel to show me how to do it.
For months,
It's
I've been telling
next
him
weekend.
put your stuff into the
easy.
ledger.
I'm gonna bring it over next weekend when we watch the F1 race. You're gonna just.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna give Miguel my seed phrase just to be safe, so I don't lose it.
Uh-huh.
I don't want it.
My God.
Plum, I have a question. What has been your biggest challenge in the space?
Pushing forward on with all of this, knowing that so much of it is ultimately pointless because
Oh,
you still see people like NFT God and Kevin Rose. Kevin Rose has been on some of my Twitter spaces. He's been on the ServerForge spaces. He knew better and he still did it. It's repeating ourselves endlessly. The same things. Don't click on links. Don't do stuff on a hot wallet. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And it just, we do definitely still have people new coming to the space all the time. And some of it can be put down to that. But you see people who have been here for a year, 2 years, longer than that, falling for this stuff. And it's incredibly frustrating. It's defeating,
yeah.
that I've spent pretty much every day for a year and a half nonstop trying to orchestrate the protection for God, how many people are in Web3 now? Millions?
Millions.
Yeah, millions.
And it's it feels like a losing battle. Logically I know that it's not because I know that there are so many people that we've kept safe, but that is absolutely it. It's pushing on despite that, knowing that it still happens
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
still gonna happen.
I just feel like, again, like I mentioned before, the more we evolve into the Web3, the more the hackers will evolve too. That's the problem. Like it's just an ever going thing. It just never ends.
Mm-mm. New ones come in all the time.
Yeah.
They
It's
teach their
unreal.
methods to the younger crowd, and they keep going. Some of them burn out. Some of them get caught. Some of them get old enough that they realize, hey, if I do get caught, I'm going to get put in, big people jail.
Yeah.
Most of them are teenagers. Most of them have
Yeah,
come
they're
from
kids.
Roblox
Yeah.
and scamming over on Roblox, and they use the same methods there.
Yeah.
And
My younger son, maybe you can relate. He
oh
comes to
yeah,
me and he shows me these YouTube videos about how to get free money for Roblox. He's like, "Can we try it?" I'm like, "There's no way it's real. Like, do not go to that link or whatever. Don't download that app." He's watching these and ingesting them, and I'm like, "No, they're not real." He's like, "But the comments say they work." I'm like, "No, they don't work. Trust me. Like, don't do it."
you could buy comments, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
My
Yeah.
my sixth grader was doing a digital citizenship class,
Oh boy.
and it's basically how to be safe on the internet.
Yep.
And she's like just having to do this quiz thing or something, and she says that she just zipped all the way through part of it, and she says it was way easier than I thought it was gonna be.
Really.
Because I live with you.
Yeah. It's good. You're training
And
him young.
That is good.
they
Yeah.
at least know that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but another one of them a couple months back said something like, I'm not going to do that. I know better than that. I live with you. I've been listening to you say this stuff
See?
nonstop for months.
There you go.
Like,
That's got to
well,
feel good.
if it at least gets through to you idiots, then we're good.
Right. That's kind of up there for priorities of like who am I keeping
man.
safe?
That is true. Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
get you to, close the toilet properly or brush your teeth when I tell you to, but you ain't clicking on funky links, so we're
There you
good.
go. Right. Yeah, everything else is easy from there as long as you're not hacked.
Right.
What is the first thing that we should do in case, or for the listeners out there, what is the first thing they should do if there's a point of like a breach or they feel like they're getting scammed? What is the first thing that they should do?
If it's in Discord, change your password. First and only, change your password. If you think that there's a possibility that your account has been compromised in some way, change your password. If you don't have 2FA on your account in Discord, please put 2FA on your account. If you own a server in Discord and you don't have 2FA on your server owner account, that is the only thing that will stop your server from getting transferred out of your hands if your account is taken over. So if you don't have it, you're setting yourself up for trouble. Discord cannot recover swiped servers like that. They don't have the manpower to do it. You might get lucky. It ain't gonna happen.
Right.
If you're talking about on NFT stuff, if you sign a Seaport contract, if you sign a Seaport transaction and you're not on a marketplace, you're SOL. There's no way that you can move fast enough to stop that from happening.
Wow.
If you realize that you've done it and you are really, really quick, you can lightning fast zip your way over to revoke.cash and go for your highest priced asset first and pray to God that you can get there before those transactions go through, but probably not going to happen.
Now. Yeah, let me just pull this up just because I've never seen this before. Revoke.cash.
Revoke.cash.
So take back control of your wallet.
Yep. So anytime you sign a transaction on any of those sites, if you're on
Uniswap, OpenSea,
if you're connecting on OpenSea, if you're connecting on the Bored Ape site, if you're on Blur, whatever, anything that you've connected your wallet to and you've given approval for, to move your assets, it's gonna have a thing on there on your list. You can check your, anybody's wallet. You can put anybody's wallet in there. It doesn't just have to be yours. You can look and see what approvals are on their wallets. So a scammer can go and put your wallet into revoke.cash and see what lovely things they can swipe from you.
Interesting. I'm going to have to look into that.
This dude's got, full approval on his Bored Apes, and they'll just go after you.
Wow.
If you are not selling something, if you're not actively trying to sell something, then please go to revoke.cash and remove the approval for it on your account. Because that's how most of these things happen, is that they're using the Seaport contract on websites where it doesn't belong to effectively yoink anything that has an open approval for it. So if you put your wallet in there right now and take a look at it and look and see everything on that list that you have an approval for, that is everything that can be stolen from you at once.
Ooh, should we do this live right now for my wallet? Is that a bad idea?
Anybody can see it. So if your wallet's public, and it will do. There's a thing on there whenever you do it that you'll be able to see NFTs and crypto.
Yeah. So
it's probably you got a lot.
No, all right, we're getting out of here then.
You got a lot on there.
Yeah,
no way.
Sitting there churning and churning like that. That's a bad sign.
No way. I go to the MetaMask app all the time and look at the connected sites, and I'll disconnect from a number of them. Oh God.
That does not. No.
No. Okay.
That's not the same thing at all.
I'm gonna do a little work
MetaMask
after
connections.
this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. anything on revoke.cash that
Oh my
has
god.
approvals on it.
I have most of my stuff in the ledger, so I gotta like.
Uh-huh.
It's so safe in my.
Don't tempt her.
I
Uh-huh.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, you still have approvals on them though, I bet.
That's
Probably.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ledger
Somebody
is
was
not
trying.
gonna stop it.
Somebody was trying to make me go into the Bored Ape one to get that
Uh-huh.
ticket, and I was like, nah.
Yep.
We could have made so much money off the sewer pass. I don't
Yeah,
know what you're
whatever,
waiting
man.
on.
If you got
I'm glad I
a
didn't do it.
ledger with open approvals on it, it won't matter if you try to connect it to a funky site and you've got open approvals and you sign that funky seaport contract. They're gonna slurp every bit of it out, just
Oh my
like Kevin
gosh.
Rose.
Jesus.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, good to know. Thanks for that one.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go work on that after
There's
this.
an easier way to do it if you are someone who shall not be named and has a ton of approvals on their account.
Mhm.
One of the other security people in the space, guy named Weemy, you've probably seen him. He came up with a way to basically overwrite the increment counter on the seaport contracts, old one and new one. And in layman's terms, that means that at some point in the past, you clicked a thing on OpenSea, the OpenSea seaport contract itself that said, yeah, okay, I'm going to let OpenSea use my stuff.
Right.
You have to give approval to each one of those individual contracts for the NFTs as well.
Right.
But
Makes sense.
there's a way to go to the OpenSea contract itself, and I'll send y'all the link. I keep that one bookmarked, yo. Alrighty, here, let me drop it in
Yeah,
this
we
thingy.
will definitely add that into the comments of
Okay.
our video here so people can find it for the future
So
too.
you basically go to the OpenSea contract on
Should I click this right
Etherscan.
now?
You can take a look at it, yeah. It
All right, I'll
takes
pull it
like
up.
$2 worth of gas if it's not too crazy.
Where did that go?
You'll go to the OpenSea contract and you connect to the contract and you go down to a specific spot
Right here.
and you hit write and then you sign and it will wipe out, overwrite any approvals that you've got, essentially. It's called icing the nonce.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Scary.
really, really easy to do. I managed to do it, so I know
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Yeah. Interesting.
Do
We
it
have
for the
some cleaning
seaport
up to do,
contract
Kevin.
and the Wyvern
Yeah,
contract.
I got some work to do.
Yep.
So those contracts or those like networks, those blockchains that have quicker transaction times, does that make it that much harder to stop something from happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so like those really fast ones, like a Polygon or something, obviously much
Well-
faster than like a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Things are probably moving much faster, then it's harder to intervene.
Yes, but also there's not a whole lot of people don't go after the
Yeah.
Polygon stuff. It's written for ETH.
Hmm.
Most of the phishing scams, the stuff is they don't go after Polygon. They'll go after Solana before they'll go after Polygon.
Yeah,
Interesting.
So, now that there's starting to be more expensive stuff on Polygon, they'll probably start moving that way.
Yeah.
But they'll hit you up on Solana before they'll go after Polygon. And like maybe I think I heard some of them going after Aptos not too long ago. They're going to try to, start doing crap over there, but it's all pretty much on ETH.
Yeah, it does feel
And
like that, I guess.
They'll burn all kinds of gas if it means they get one Bored Ape out of a hacker or a Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
makes sense.
Don't click on links on Twitter. There's a way to make them appear as something else entirely.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking right about, like the Super Bowl is what comes to mind when you say that, right? Miguel and I were sitting next to each other when that commercial aired. We scanned it. I'm like, this is a guy's Twitter. Like, I don't want to do this. If it brought me to some other website, I probably would have been more inclined to mint the
Yeah. He's also
Digidike or
somebody who
whatever
got
it was.
hacked in the past too. So
Yeah, so it's
Yeah, he
like,
did.
ugh, I don't know. I don't know what to trust. I can't trust anything.
no, you can't. Be paranoid. You'd be better off. I've never been hacked. Knock knock.
Yeah, good. Yeah, let's keep it that way.
But like the way that Twitter shortens links, it makes it look like t.co or whatever.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
There's
That's
a way for those to lead to something else. I made a post on Twitter not too long ago, last few days, because there was there's one for Blur, and there was some stuff for that new Coinbase thing. And there was somebody in the comments that was a fake Zach account, and it had a link that appeared to point to revoke.cash. The little embed thingy even popped up and says, revoke.cash. If you had clicked on the link, it would have taken you to somewhere else entirely. A fake revoke.cash. It
Wow.
looks on the surface that it's legit, but it's link obfuscation stuff. That's the there you go. And oh, good, it hasn't on some people's browsers. The link that I put there, the unshortened.it, it hid it. It said t.co and some, whatever. You're muted. There you go.
Thanks. I think that's the first time I've done that on the show. I've been coughing a lot, so I'm trying to keep the coughs out. But yeah, this is
Yep.
really interesting. We'll definitely link to this as well. Great advice. And
again, if you cannot be trusted to remember to do that every time, get Pocket Universe and get Wallet Guard.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because I'm bad about it, but I also click most of my links on a machine that I don't have connected to assets and all that stuff. I change my Discord password about as often as I change underwear, So
it's not a bad idea.
It's a really good idea. Please change your passwords.
Yeah.
Is there a place that you think the market still needs to step in to kind of create a service for the Web3 protection? We're talking about these ad blockers, we're talking about extensions. You and your service provide protection there. Like, where else does the market have a need for a product or a service?
Well, I think honestly there's a good deal that's already covered. I think the bigger problem is the education side of things and getting people to actually do it. Everybody says not your keys, not your crypto, and get a hardware wallet and all that, but the problem is that if you're using a different wallet that may not necessarily need a ledger or something, there's gonna be something that'll get you. And it's at this point it's less about the specific technologies and so much more about just teaching people how to avoid basic social engineering scams.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
If you learn what con men are like, you're gonna have a much better time.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's true.
like going back to the collab land thing, people don't like signing that one thing on their wallet to connect it to Discord, but they all say, well, let's use Delegate Cash, or let's use Vulcan, or let's use this other thing, token proof, all that stuff. You're still connecting your wallet to those things. You're still connecting your wallet to Delegate Cash and Warm XYZ and OpenSea and token proof and all the rest of that.
Yeah.
Even though they're then delegating on for you to, prove that you have ownership of that thing, you're still connecting it at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh gosh, where was I? If you look even at Vulcan, like everybody has issues, and there are holes in all of these things because they're all so new. Every bit of Web3 is brand new. Yeah, we've been here for months, years, some of us, but it's the Wild West. We're all flying by the seat of our pants here and making it up as we go along.
Absolutely.
So are all these people.
Yeah, that's true.
I recommend that people get Wallet Guard and get Pocket Universe, but don't, never blindly jump on anything. Take a look at them, read their sites, find out how they work. Read up on Discord security stuff. Read up on how the Seaport contract works.
Yeah.
This is not. It's not an environment for people who can't pay attention to things, and it sucks that it's like that. But it's just how it is.
Yeah.
I hate sounding victim blamey, but at some point you do have to take responsibility for your own money, your funds. You're not going to walk through some janky neighborhood with 20 grand in your pocket just hanging out. You're going to do something to protect yourself. Put it in a bank, put it under your mattress, something.
Yeah.
There are teenagers who want to steal your money. If you want to get owned by a teenager, by all means, please click away to your heart's content.
I'm
but
super
if you do
paranoid
not wish
now.
to live with that shame,
I know. Yeah. I know.
I'm gonna read everything.
Yeah.
From now on.
If you don't want a 10th grader to steal your crap, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, it's true. I've seen it.
They have asked me for homework help before. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have had the scammer kids ask for homework help before.
Plum, if Kevin and I start growing, we're going to use your advice on everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
We're going to be reaching out to you a lot.
I'm more than happy.
Yes, thank you for that. All right, well, we are getting up there in time here, so I want to respect everyone's commitment here. So, Plum, thank you so much for being with us. I just threw up your Twitter and your the ServerForge website here. What are some parting words from you to our audience here?
Don't click on shit.
Don't click on shit. Yes, except the like button of this video on YouTube.
Yes.
That you should definitely click.
Perfect. I like that one. That's good.
Yeah.
Verify what you're doing. If it seems too good to be true, it almost certainly is.
Yeah.
And unless you are willing to risk the entire contents of your wallet on whatever it is you're clicking on, don't do it.
That's true.
Don't do it. Put your stuff on, check it out on a different browser. Put $5 in MetaMask on a different browser or something and check it out that way. Keep nothing on your phone MetaMask and go check it out that way.
Yeah.
It's, you have options, and the ticket to generational wealth is not blindly following along with the other lemmings.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's some good advice. What, real fast before we end it here, what is your browser of choice?
Everybody will probably disagree, but I love Firefox.
Okay, fair enough.
I like Firefox.
Yeah.
Even though the MetaMask version on Firefox is woefully out of date compared to the one on Chrome. So I would suggest Chrome over Firefox. Yeah. Brave is what a lot of my security people use.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've been seeing that one around too.
One more question before you go. How do you feel about the Coinbase wallet compared to the MetaMask?
Honestly, I don't have an opinion on it. I've not used it much. I haven't touched it. I have no experience with it really. Trust Wallet is the one that worries me because it's all like social media
Open.
sign on
Yeah.
and Google sign on and stuff. And I deal with
Takes-
people all the time who are like, I can't get into my wallet. My email's not working. It's like, man, you signed into a freaking crypto wallet with your email address. I don't know what you're asking for.
Yeah.
Where's your seed phrase? What are you gonna do?
That's true. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
store your seed phrase on your computer. Don't take a picture of it. Keep it on your phone. Write it down. When they say write it down on a piece of paper and put it in a safe place, they mean it. Do not store it digitally in any way. This means you, Kevin.
Well,
Yes,
you know,
Kevin.
funny story. I think I told Miguel I locked myself out of my locked seed phrase note on my Apple Notes. I don't remember the password, so I can't even get into it. But I'm changing all that anyway. So yeah,
Wow.
don't. Yeah, I'm that secure. I can't even get into
Don't
it
pull a
myself.
Kevin.
Yeah, don't pull a
Yeah.
Kevin.
And I'm the opposite. I think I wrote it in like 7 different places around my
Good.
house.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
gotta
I've got
change
mine
my
in like
plan
3.
here.
So yeah, and one of them's in the fire safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. That's
All
right.
right.
So, all right. Well, listen, Plum, thank you so much for your time. I have
Thank
learned a
you.
lot. I hope our community and our listeners and watchers have learned a lot. And we are going to have to get you back on here again soon, especially as
Yeah,
we
for
have
sure.
more wealth over time that we need to protect. We're going to need
Yes.
some more guidance from you.
And feel free to get in touch if you need help with that ledger.
Thank you.
If anybody
I-
listening needs help with something, get in touch. You know,
There
it
you
may
go.
take me a while to get back to you, but if you're in a pinch and you don't know who else to trust about something, get in touch with me and I'll help
There
you
you
out.
go. Yeah, you can always
That's
always
great.
trust Plum. Good.
Yep.
All right, Miguel. Good night to you as well. And everyone watching, thanks so much. You can find us at Rebel Ants on Twitter and on your favorite podcast listener of choice, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, whatever it is, you will find us. And we hope to see you again next week. So thank you all so much. Have a great night, and we'll see you online. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.